City are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and it's one of our academy lads that sent us there, Nico O'Reilly. Not the other Nico, a different Nico, the younger Nico, the City fan. Hopefully he's a City fan. I think he is. The City fan Nico, with a brace today to send City through with De Bruyne, of course, a couple of assists, and the third goal. Comfortable in the end, very much comfortable. Should have been a whole bunch more goals in the second half in particular. First half, reasonably to forget. Went in at a tie, 1-1, obviously, but it was a very dull game of football until the second half. City created chance after chance after chance. I think we created in that game 11 big chances overall. City could have had 6-7 goals in the end. 29 shots to their one. They had one shot, and of course they scored it. One shot for them. Overall, though, City were by far the better side and absolutely deserved to go through in the end. And it was a good story with lots of little narratives. The most important thing, of course, is that we're into the quarter-final draw, and there was some nice little, nice little things to take from it. I've got to start with Nico O'Reilly. Yeah, absolutely the star of the show there for Manchester City in terms of the headlines. Performance from left back once again for a guy who is a number 10 by trade, a false 9 sort of attacking midfielder kind of player, who's of course got into the City side right now as a left back, an auxiliary left back, and because he's technically good enough and he's 6'4" and he can get forward, he can keep the ball, and it's a decent little role for him to learn the ropes of senior football. And I'm very much of the opinion after this season that's where he should stay as Manchester City. He should be there, he should be the backup, and he should be playing when Guardiola needs a rest, because he suits that role right now down to a T. As you can see there, 89% pass completion, 65 out of 73. Is that showing it on screen for you there? Let me just move that over there 1 second. Let me just resize this so you guys can see fully. I'm not going to say he's perfect or a genius or anything like that, but he's clearly a very talented footballer, and we'd be stupid to let him go given the ones that we've lost over the years. So yeah, really, really encouraging. I think he's got lots of potential, and I'm very excited to see how he can get on at Manchester City. 2 goals, of course, both from set pieces, both big headers, which is nice to see, City winning headers from good set pieces today. We had about 20 corners. It was ridiculous. The first goal, of course, is a really nice, 6'4", 6'3", he's massive. First goal was a decent cross from De Bruyne. Got on it. Keeper could have saved it maybe, but it was a good header, and the second one was just strong. They tried to claim a foul, but I'm sorry, there was no foul on that at all. He was just stronger than the centre back, and they had some brass neck to moan about that, given that there could have been a couple of penalties today, and they were very physical anyway. But I'm buzzing for him. Nico O'Reilly, once again, a guy who bleeds blue, a City fan, and absolutely deserved the plaudits today. De Bruyne, of course, as well, had a good second half. I thought De Bruyne was really poor in that first half in particular, actually, but by the end of it, he walked off the pitch with an assist and a goal. Yeah, delighted for him. Obviously, a genius footballer, very much on the way out overall. But still got that quality there, and he was much better in the second half. I actually found the first half a difficult watch for Kev, actually, because I felt like there was some passes where he was a little bit sloppy. He was not getting the weight right. It was very hard to watch because he didn't feel like Kevin De Bruyne. But then all of a sudden, it just clicked. His weighted pass was perfect. For me, you can disagree if you want to, but I felt like all the crossing situations were hitting the first man or going far too overhit. And that's what was bugging me in the first half, where Kev was way more... he would dominate games that way, but also he was prone to that. I used to joke that KDB would be crap until he was good, and that was very much a thing today as well, in my opinion. But second half, yeah, he created absolutely loads. And I was very happy about it, yeah. So he got his goal. And I love Kevin De Bruyne. If he wants to stay, he can stay. That's where I feel about it. Kevin De Bruyne is a Manchester City legend. He's my favourite ever Manchester City player. One of my favourite ever footballers. Probably my favourite footballer full stop. I mean, he's absolutely unique. And ultimately, I'm very much of the opinion that if he wants to stay, he can stay. The first half was sort of like weird, if I'm being honest. It was very obvious to me that City were just... where we've come from with Savinho, Doku, Marmoush, Haaland on the pitch, and Nico Gonzalez and so on. Kusanov. We've seen such a vibrant Manchester City side of late, and this was very much the uncles in the team with De Bruyne, Gundogan, Grealish, Bernardo, Kevin, Ake, and so on. It did feel old in the first half, and far too prosaic, far too slow, and It just wasn't fun to watch, unfortunately. And it felt like City were going through the motions. The second half was way more aggressive, and City eventually scored the goals. But, of course, we scored. They scored with their first chance, a header from a corner. It was immensely frustrating. But we equalised very quickly, to be fair. Nico O'Reilly from the set piece, which was good. Aki went off at half-time. I don't know if it was tactical, just fitness or whatever, but he went off for Diaz. We've seen that swap plenty of times now. Yeah, and the Southern Wake is right in the chat. 90% of our games are like this against lower sides with disjointed wins like this. It's true, absolutely. Usually it didn't have people like De Bruyne and Gundogan on the side. Usually it was, obviously players of a sort of the reserve players, so to speak. But now the reserves are De Bruyne, Gundogan, and whatever. Which is weird to say, but that's where we're at. I didn't think the second half was boring, Iptris. I thought the first half was boring, but second half, City created a whole bunch of chances. We could have scored multiple in the end. And for me, look, the stories as well. I thought Vitor Reis looks a real talent. I thought against Leyton Orient, which he just joined, to be fair, I thought he looked lightweight. He didn't do anything wrong, but he definitely looked young. He looked like an academy lad playing first team football. Totally different in this game. What really impressed me about Vitor Reis is that how dominant in the areas. As you can see there, he won 9 of his 13 aerial duels. He's only a slight lad still, but he's a good height, about 6'2", and you can't really teach that aggression in the air. You've either got it or you haven't, and he does. He's aggressive in the air. He knows how to win a header. So I wouldn't say he's weak at all because, to me, he's got very obvious strength, and I enjoyed that. So yeah, I enjoyed the fact that he clearly can read a game, clearly can pass the ball, 94% pass accuracy there. He's clearly smart. Yeah, he looks good, man. He looks very good. And we'll see how he adapts. And I agree with Frank, actually. I noticed that as well. The amount of times his line was really good for the offside. Yeah, of course, he cleared it, which led to the corner, which you can't really blame him for, man. He just is one of those things. But overall, I thought that the promise is clearly there. Ultra composed. It's like when we had Eric Garcia, and Pep loved him because he was composed on the ball, but Garcia was like 5'10" and had absolutely no physicality whatsoever and couldn't really win a header, where this guy can win a header. He absolutely can. That's very obvious. And in time, he'll grow into his physicality. And in time, I've got no doubt he'll be a really good player. Him and Kusin over a few years from now, you got your Stones and Diaz regens there, haven't you? So very, very exciting. I'm loving Alan's super chat here, just randomly digging out United. It says, Old Trafford's falling down. Amarin's in clown. Absolutely love it, Alan. Always getting a dig at United if you can do. Absolutely, mate. 100%. Are United playing yet? Has it kicked off? I don't even know, man. Has it kicked off? What's United started yet? Let's have a look. Matches. No, it's starting tomorrow. It's tomorrow, United. But I appreciate the burn in there, Alan. Absolutely. But yeah. It was good today. It was good today in terms of getting the result that we needed. Got minutes for some players, while also giving a whole bunch of players rest. I'm not going to say everything was perfect, by the way. I was definitely frustrated in the first half, but ultimately this is just about getting through. It's about getting through and getting the victory, and that's all I wanted. I thought Phil was quiet. He did get an assist, of course, but he was quiet in that first half. Jack was aggressive. He was running at people an awful lot. I enjoyed the fact that Jack wanted to create chances. Defensively, Rico got forward really well. Rico was aggressive getting forward, which I enjoyed. Haaland, of course, brought a sort of focal point for City when he came from McAtee, who was sort of underwhelmed, if I'm being honest, James. I was very disappointed in. He sort of definitely wasn't at his best today. But Haaland provides such an obvious... as I said, he's the star on the Christmas tree, man. The Christmas tree looks fine without it, but he doesn't work as well without a star. And like Haaland, yeah, you need him. You absolutely need him. As much as the false nine thing works, the runs in behind, the fact that he draws defenders, we're just better with Haaland on the pitch, man. Absolutely, and it's undeniable at this point. So, like, Haaland, yeah, brilliant when he came on in terms of the movement he created and so on. And I thought Diaz was good in the second half as well in terms of organising that team. So it wasn't a classic performance. It was a very, forgettable one overall. But I'll take the positives. Nico O'Reilly, keep him in the first team, man. Clearly talented. Clearly very talented. he should be around that first team side age, given his, his profile. He can play midfield, he can play as a 10, he can play as a left back, and apparently now plays as a 6. He's just absolutely got to be around the first team. 6'4", athletic, technically good, an eye for goal, left-footed, which is always nice. A local lad, homegrown, club trained. It'd be stupid to let him go. I thought Jack was aggressive, as Alan said. Alan's got a soft spot for him. I get that, mate. I absolutely get it. And I thought if he wants to stay and work hard, he's more than welcome to. But he's got to have games like that. I thought Vitor Reis was a highlight. Kev had a really good second half. Overall, we're into the draw and we've got a very decent chance of winning this now. And that, to me, is what I'm taking from that. You look at the FA Cup games. I'll go to the matches now and show you the schedule. You've got Aston Villa through. You've got Palace through. Preston through, Bournemouth, City, but then you got Newcastle, Brighton. One of those is going out tomorrow. I suspect it'll be Brighton. I would guess Brighton. Newcastle will probably go through. Fulham United, that could easily be Fulham, genuinely. Forest, Ipswich, probably Forest. But it depends if they make changes there. We've got a very good chance to win it. Generally, a very good chance to win it. We'll see, man. We'll see. But what's wrong with O'Reilly's hair, man? Let him have a big old head of hair. Like, look, when you've got a lot of hair, flaunt it. I had a lot of hair when I was younger, I agree. Don't stop. Ignore O'Reilly's hair, mate. But, Foden wasn't great today. He was okay. He was all right. Not great. He was just fine. I think Foden's season has been a bit of a weird one, but I'm very much at the place where I can relax into it and see how it goes next season. This isn't going to be the longest video because I'm very much aware that my wife's trying to get my poorly son to sleep downstairs. I'm definitely keeping him awake, unfortunately. Sorry, Nicola, you're not watching this, but I feel bad. So it won't be the longest video, but ultimately our aims now have to be to win this trophy, and I think we could win this trophy. I truly believe, there's potential here for City to win this, get top 4, and that would still be a better season than anything Arsenal have accomplished, which would be funny, wouldn't it? Look, if we can win a trophy today, this season, given everything, it'd be great. Guardiola had some nice quotes as well about Nico O'Reilly. He said he's a guy who's completely different to the other City Academy players. All of them are so small and talented, but this guy's a big presence, playing in a position he's never played in before. He's so clever with the ball. He's a guy who's in the final third. He pockets incredible presence, physicality. He's 2 goals with a head of set pieces where normally we're not good. So Guardiola rates him, basically. He's a tool and an asset. Jack played really good, according to Guardiola. De Bruyne as well. They were very, very positive things. I'm happy to see us again, the last best 8 teams in the FA Cup, and I agree. Let's finish second with a trophy, stick it to the arse. Absolutely, Alan, my friend. I entirely agree. Guys, I'm going to keep this nice and short and sweet. I'll do a proper video tomorrow about the 5 things learned. For now, though, it was a functional, if forgettable win, but that is fine. There was no fresh injuries as far as I'm concerned. Some players got minutes, some players got a rest, and now the 1 game a week thing starts where we can just crack on and try and get the top 4 and try and win the FA Cup. And it'd be, ultimately, for a fail season, it'd be a pretty good season, I would argue. Guys, thanks for watching this. Up the Blues. Quarterfinals, here we come.